Shalom to all my brothers and sisters. This is the first time in over a year that I'm making a new video on this channel as well as my backup channel, since my main channel was taken down because of controversial videos regarding the injection. I was not allowed to speak of such things, like we're in the Soviet Union. But nonetheless, we're going to build from the ground up on this channel and my backup channel. There's a video I did 6 years ago on a topic that had never been discussed nor taught all over YouTube or anywhere else. It was regarding whether there is one physical Torah or two Torahs. I want to begin by stating this very clear statement. This video is not, in no way, a video to disrespect Orthodox rabbinic Jews whatsoever. I want to make that very clear. This is not a video to disrespect any of my brothers and sisters of Orthodox Jews at all. This is the Karaite answer. If someone was to ask the Karaites, why do you not believe in the oral Torah, which would be the Talmud and all the teachings of the sages? Why do you believe only in the Hebrew scriptures, the Tanakh? So here is the answer. I hope this will be helpful. I hope you will take notes, and I hope you will look into this for yourselves and think for yourselves using logic. Here we go. This is all the biblical, clear text to show that there is one physical Torah. Here we go. First, in Exodus chapter 24, verse 4, said, "Then Moses wrote down all the words of Yehovah." Exodus chapter 24, verse 7, he took the book of the covenant, or the scroll at that time, and he read it in the ears of the people, and they said, "All that Yehovah has spoken we will do, and we will heed." Exodus chapter 34, verse 27, "And Elohim said to Moses, write down these words for yourself, because it is through these words from my mouth that I have made a covenant with you and with Israel." Deuteronomy chapter 1, verses 1 through 3. "These are the words which Moses spoke to all of Israel, according to all that Yehovah had commanded him to tell them." Deuteronomy chapter 1, verse 5. Moses began to explain this Torah. This Torah means a physical object, physical Torah. Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 8. As we go on, you'll see it become clearer and clearer. Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 8. "Which other great nation has decrees and laws as all this Torah which I am putting before you today?" This Torah. All right, we will continue. Very windy today. Deuteronomy chapter 5, verse 1. "And Moses called all of Israel, and he said to them, Hear, O Israel, the decrees and laws which I am speaking to your ears today. You shall learn them, and you shall take care to do them." Deuteronomy chapter 13, verse 1. "Everything which I command you, you shall observe to do. You shall not add to it, nor shall you remove from it." Deuteronomy chapter 17, verses 18 through 19. "And it will be when he, the king, the future king, sits securely on the throne of his kingdom, he shall write a copy of this Torah." I repeat, a copy of this Torah for himself on a scroll, copying from the one kept by the Kohanim of the tribe of Levi. "It shall be with him, and he shall read from it all the days of his life, so that he will learn to fear Yehovah his God and keep all the words of this Torah and these decrees to carry them out." I want to focus right now. A copy of this Torah. It is not just what is written, because it's very clear what is written. A copy of this Torah. It doesn't continue by saying, "and then you will learn the oral Torah." But the point is more so what is not mentioned in this passage. It does not say, forget about making a copy of the Torah because you won't understand what you're reading from. You need the oral Torah. That is not in this passage, nor is it anywhere else in this chapter, nor anywhere else. You'll see as I go on. The point is a copy of this Torah, and it will be with him, and he shall read it all the days of his life, so he will learn. It doesn't say he will read it and then go to the oral Torah to learn, which it should say. Deuteronomy chapter 26, verse 16. "This day Yehovah your Elohim is commanding you to practice all these decrees and laws with all your heart and with all your soul as a subject of all that Moses spoke and recorded in Deuteronomy. That's what it's speaking about. Deuteronomy chapter 27, verses 2 through 3. You will set up for yourself large stones, you will plaster them with lime, and you will write on them all the words of this Torah. I'm trying to emphasize the fact that everything was written down. There was nothing left in the oblivious area, as I'm showing you. All right, here we go. Deuteronomy chapter 28, verses 13 through 15. If you will listen to the commandments of Yehovah your God, which I am commanding you today to keep them and to do, and you must not stray all the words which I am commanding you today, neither to the right nor to the left, going after other gods to serve them. And it will be, if you will not listen to the voice of Yehovah your Elohim, to carefully carry out all his commandments and his decrees, which I am commanding you today, then there will come upon all the curses, and they will overtake you. Deuteronomy chapter 27, verse 8. And you will listen to the voice of Yehovah, and you will carry out all his commandments, which I command you today. There was nothing left for the future. Again, all the commandments of today, not tomorrow, not to next year, not when somebody else writes them down later on. All right, moving on. We're going to go to, let's see, the next passage here. All right, we're going to get back to the emphasis of the written Torah. Deuteronomy chapter 30, verse 10. When you obey the voice of Yehovah your Elohim to keep his commandments and his statutes, which are written in this Torah, in this scroll of the Torah, written in this scroll of the Torah, all the commandments. When you turn to Yehovah your Elohim with all your heart and with all your soul, because this law, which I command you today, is not hidden from you. Here's the point. Here's where he emphasizes that this is not meant to be rocket science. This is supposed to be something that you can understand. Not something impossible that someone else has to do it for you. This commandment is not hidden from you. It is not far away from you, right? This mandate that I'm prescribing you today is not mysterious or far away from you. It is not in the heavens, as if to say, who will go up to the heavens and bring it down to us that we may hear it and keep it. It is not across the sea, as if to say, who will cross the sea and get it for us? So that we will be able to hear it and keep it. Because we can't do it on our own, right? That's what we're taught. Is that what this says here? No, it says, no, it's very near to you. It is in your mouth and in your heart that you may keep it. Deuteronomy chapter 31, verse 9. Then Moses put all this Torah in writing and gave it to the priests, the sons of Levi. Deuteronomy chapter 31, verses 11 and 12. When all of Israel came to appear before the face of Yehovah your Elohim, in the place where he will choose, you shall read this Torah in the presence of all Israel, into the ears, so that they will learn and they will fear Yehovah your God. And they will be careful to carry out all the words of this physical Torah. Again, you shall read this Torah in the presence of Israel, into their ears. I'm trying to emphasize here. Read it so that they will learn. It doesn't say, and they will read it and go, well, what does that mean? We need the scribes to explain it to us. No, that's not what it says. And they will learn from the reading of it to fear Yehovah, their Elohim. Next. Deuteronomy chapter 31, verses 24 through 26. The bearers of the Ark of the Covenant of Yehovah, saying, take this scroll of the Torah and put it at the side of the Ark of the Covenant of Yehovah your Elohim, and it shall remain there as a witness to you. Why am I reading this passage? To show you that the Torah was a physical scroll. It wasn't something in the Hibbles. This was the Torah, period. Written, certified. Deuteronomy, Devarim, chapter 32, verses 46 through 47. Give your full attention to all the words by which I testify you today, so that you will command your children to keep them and to do all the words of this physical Torah, because it is not an empty thing for you. It is your life. And the last passage, this is a short version of a longer video that I did. Joshua chapter 8, verses 34 through 35. Now this is the most powerful proof text, and it's the end of the chapter as well. Joshua chapter 8, verses 34 through 35. Listen very carefully. After that, he, meaning Joshua, read all the words of the Torah, the blessing and the curse, according to all that is written in the scroll of the Torah. All that is written in the scroll of the Torah. There was not a word of all that Moshe commanded Yehoshua that he did not read to the entire congregation of Israel, the women, the children, and the strangers that walked among them. Again, he read all the words of the Torah, the blessing and the curse, according to all that is written in the scroll of the Torah. There was not a word of all that Moshe commanded that Joshua did not read to the entire congregation of Israel, the women, the children, and the strangers, the converts. It doesn't continue anywhere. It should continue by saying, and then they did not understand what they were being read. They didn't understand any of it. They needed the scribes to describe it to them. They had no idea what they were listening to. If you had to believe that the Torah was a skeleton or just the headlines missing the information inside. No. It was read, and they heard it, and they learned to fear Yehovah and keep all the words of this Torah. This would be the Karaite simplified answer to why we do not follow the claims of the oral Torah. 2 Torahs. There was 1 Torah, not 2. I hope this was helpful. I hope you took notes. Shalom, and take care, everyone.